Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success Magazine. I really appreciate everybody taking the time today to join us. We're going to look at some new features in reporting on Rapid Recon, some exciting stuff. I'm sure y'all are excited to see what we have today. I've got a few people to introduce to you. Today our guests are Dennis McGinn, Steve Lewis, Josh Coots, and Rick Ligas. All of them work with Rapid Recon, calling in from around the country, and in fact Rick's actually calling us from Milan, Italy. This will be our first international presenter on an Auto Success webinar. I appreciate everybody taking the time to join us today. We're going to jump right in after I explain a couple of things on how this works, because we've got a lot of neat stuff to show you today. If you look on your GoToWebinar pane that's on the right side of your screen, you'll see the third from the bottom thing says questions, and right next to questions is a plus sign. If you click that plus sign, you'll be able to type in questions. Now we're going to go through reporting today, and then at the end of reporting, we're going to answer all the questions about reporting, and then we've got a few other topics we're going to cover, and then we're going to address all those questions together, because reporting is going to be kind of the biggest chunk of what we have, and I want to make sure that if you have some good questions on that we get to it before we cover new topics and new materials. Dennis, I'd like to introduce you, Dennis McGinn. He's going to say a few words, and then we're going to pass control over to Steve Lewis. Dennis?
Great. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. First of all, thanks for being customers. This is for customers only seminar, and this is really about something that is most important to me and something we've been working on for several years, which is the ability to do apples-to-apples comparison between stores, so that even though stores may have different steps and different processes, that we'll be able to let you have an equivalent idea of what stores are doing and against best practices. So to me, this is huge. It's industry changing, because behavior is driven by people knowing what they have and what they have to do and how to continue to improve. And so we've finally broken the code on how to actually do this. So you're going to get to see some of this today. And thanks for dialing in. I'm going to turn it right over to Steve Lewis. Steve is head of sales and marketing for Rapid Recon, and take it away, Steve.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us again. The reporting is going to be the key that we're talking about today, and is something that I know Rapid Recon's been working on for quite some time, and something that I feel, at least from a dealer standpoint, is really crucial, in that the GMs or the dealer principals can now receive reporting that's pushed to them. Whether you want to receive it weekly, monthly, or even daily, on some feedback on how the recon process is going and where the cars are. So today we've got Rick and Josh, who have been responsible for putting together the reporting, and I'm going to flip the screen over to Josh, and he can walk you through how it presents itself and how you can subscribe to the reporting when we release it. So, Josh, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I just handed the screen over to you, so if you want to jump in and show us what's going on. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So what I'm going to be showing you over the next few minutes is the direction that we're going to be going in with reporting over the next 30 to 60 days as we roll out some of these new reports. So I just have one of our clients' reports pulled up right now, just to simply show you what you're used to seeing. Here under the Reports tab, you're used to seeing a drop-down list. That will be changing here in the near future, and it's going to look like this. It's not going to have a drop-down anymore. It's going to be an active link. And the reason we did that is to make it easier to navigate to the reports, the existing reports that you're used to seeing, the activity report, inventory report. And then, oh, let me hide my screen here 1 second. All right, so now with the ability that we're going to include is the ability to subscribe. So now each user at your dealership can go through and pick and choose which report they want to subscribe to and how often they want to receive it. So they can select the day of the week and how often each month that they want to receive that specific report. All right, so now to show you one of our new reports. This one is our performance report. So I'm just going to double click here to view this report. And as Dennis mentioned, we spent a long time, Rick and I have been working together for about 2 years now. And so we've been taking a lot of requests from our clients, taking our individual experiences, requests from the team, and try to take that data and find some ways to give that information back to you in a clear and concise manner. So one example we have here are these 3 gauges. So this is referring to a 1-month average, a 3-month average, and a 12-month average. And here you can see this 4.51. That's indicating that 1-month average, the total time to market is 4.51. And for our best practices, we believe that green is 0 to 5 days, yellow is 5 to 7.5, and then of course red is 7.5 or greater. We have a table here in the center that displays that data against your number of vehicles compared to your time to market. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, you're going to be able to see the steps that make up that time to market average. And what's slightly different than your current time to market report that you're used to seeing is you'd have to go through and specify a range of steps that you want to see. What we're doing now is when we go and set up your account or go back into to your guys' systems, right now we've already specified which steps in your workflow are considered the working steps in your Recon process, and that's what we're reporting on now here in this report. So we're actually measuring the performance of each step in the workflow and then displaying the total down below and how many vehicles were processed. You'll also be able to display it in different integers. So for example, right now we're looking at days, here we're looking at hours, and then over here we're looking at days and hours combined. In the table up above, you can see a 12-month, I can select a 6-month as well, and then a 3-month. Now I'm going to show you the holding cost report. This is a newer feature. Steve Lewis brought in his dealership GM experience and came up with some creative ways to provide you guys with some more pertinent information. So here we're just using the MCM20's best practices holding cost suggestion. This you'll be able to actually indicate what your holding costs are, and the table and graph here will update accordingly. But what this is showing you is actually how much each step is costing you. And Steve, did you want to add anything to this report?
No, but I think it's a good report to share, with everybody because it indicates, the money that's tied up in Recon, and you're always going to have holding costs. The idea is to manage it and keep it down. And you can see in this example, this store was running at 20,000. Joff, you just show them down at the bottom. When at the initial months, they're up at 19 and 22,000. And if we go over to the right, they were able to get their holding costs, even though their inventory levels stayed the same or even increased. They were able to cut it down to 6,500 and to 10,000. So, and then you're able to go into each step and look at what if we cut a day off in detail? What's that going to save us? What if we cut a day in inspection or service and kind of put it into a dollar amount? So, and then you're able to put your own holding cost. I know some of the Highline stores may be up in the the 40, 50, and even $60 range. So you can enter that data and it'll adjust accordingly. So anyway, thanks, Josh.
No problem. I'm going to navigate quickly back to the performance report. And Rick, I believe we were working on a printing option as well.
Yes, we want to be able to deliver this data various ways, certainly on screen in the application, but some people, managers in particular, don't necessarily need to be logging in to the system every day to do their work. It's more convenient for them to get something in an email or another way. So we're working on being able to print these nicely, and Josh, I think you can just do a preview print on this one, and it will show you that there it is. You can print it out for those dealerships who still rely on paper. Sometimes this is going to be useful, but we also want to deliver it via email. and you'll get the same data in email when you subscribe. So printing and delivery through email, and also right in the application itself.
Great, thank you, Rick. For those dealer groups out there, I just have a quick teaser. This one we don't anticipate being rolled out immediately with the other two reports, but we are working on enterprise level reporting. And just to kind of give you a quick peek at that, it pulls up here. So this, of course, is 5 fictitious dealerships, the McGinn Automotive Group. But what we're showing here is that the ability to display, 5 of your dealer groups, of your dealerships against each other. And also kind of get an idea of your monthly average against the rooftops. We have a second one that we're working on as well. Again, this is just a sneak peek. It may change before final release, but also looking at a way to identify, as Dennis mentioned in the beginning, compare apples to apples, because we allow, one of the benefits of our system is we allow that customization to, your individual personality of the dealership, your facility, layout, and so we can actually sort of break that workflow into a few core components. So here, this example would be combining the technician steps, the inspection and the service step, and including your part step here into a service grouping, as well as detail, body shop, and then some of your other miscellaneous steps that may be unique to your operation, but then still compare those against the other stores in your organization. Dennis or Steve, did you guys have anything to add to this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just make a quick comment. I guess I've had a lot of questions, over the years that we've built this operation, which is how will this actually help me with my behavior? And different best practices have emerged, which are pretty interesting. And probably the most effective one that I've seen is a Tuesday morning meeting that the Recon team has. Not very long, and but they use Rapid Recon numbers to be able to kind of check their progress and figure out where they need more resources to apply things. So as far as the projection of how to keep these numbers down to the kind of market you want, there's some really good things that can be done to kind of keep everybody aware of really where you are, and also adjust as you go in terms of resources. Because really what we're doing here is giving you a way you can dial in where you want to be, what is our time to market, check on it, and then plan your resources. So anyway, that's just a comment I've got. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna shift it back over to Josh, right? Okay.
Yeah, shift it back to Josh.
Yep. That's not. Can't hear Josh.
Sorry about that. Now we can open it up to questions regarding the reports.
Okay.
Attendees.
Looks like our very first one is, when will this be rolled out and live?
Definitely our most anticipated question. Rick is on the call as well, as we heard him speak just a few minutes ago. We're hoping to have something rolled out in the next 30 days, if not sooner. At least the first 2 reports, the averages report and the performance report and the holding cost report.
All right, we got another one here. Can you tell us more about recall reporting?
Steve, did you want to speak to the recall reporting?
Sure. Let me get my screen open and we can
All right.
take a look at that. You know what we might do, Josh, is maybe just take the questions regarding the reports, and then I can go into for the guys that want to take a look at the recall, we can hold over and take a look at that and maybe some of the other stuff that we've released. Okay.
Okay. I would like to know about. Okay, is there a subscription fee for this?
No, there is no subscription fee. This will be included in your current pricing.
Will we be able to modify the descriptions for the steps in the process?
Let me turn my screen sharing back on to make sure I understand the question. 1 second, I need to take back over here, change presenter. Go back to the performance report. I'm not sure who the question came from. Were you referring to this report here? We have your steps listed down below in the workflow.
Sorry, they're coming in real fast.
No problem.
Will we be able, okay, it was from Travis Walker. Will we be able to modify the descriptions for the steps in the process?
Yeah. Yes. If you're in, just to clarify, if you were referring to the enterprise level reporting where we had those 4 groups, yes, when we do your initial setup, or actually now go back and do a review with each of our existing clients, we'll be able to specify those for you. Yes.
Okay. Well, actually, this question kind of talks to the same thing. How customizable is this? Can we send different reports to different people?
Yes. If I go back to this, it reports here. I'm sorry. Make sure I understand the question correctly. Each of these standard reports, yes, each user will be able to go in and specify delivery of each report type. So for this example, averages report, your used car manager could go in and specify the delivery window, how often they want to receive the averages report. Same with if your GM wants to go in and select the holding costs report, they'd be able to go in and specify how often they want to receive that under the subscribe button.
I think you might have answered this one kind of, but this was the next one. What about automated reports for each department?
Yes. For example, so if you wanted your service department to receive this performance report, you simply go in, each user would go into this reports page, and they'd specify how often they want to receive it.
Okay. Can we export to Excel?
Not at this time. But that's something that I'm going to make a note about and then talk with our development team to see if that's something we can facilitate in the future.
Okay. And then actually Travis asked another question. Today, can we see the performance of each step?
Today, can you?
Yes.
Not in the same manner that our performance report will show you those answers. Currently, you can run the time to market report and you could measure a single step, but the data and the way that the algorithm is set up behind the scenes to measure the performance of each report will be satisfied in this performance report once it's released.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Just because Travis had a few questions in a row, I'm going to unmute Travis and just make sure we answered his questions right. Okay, everybody? Hold on 1 sec. Travis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Did we answer your questions accurately?
Yes. I believe the one step, though, where he went into, where it was under performance, where it says, I think it said mechanic working, and then it said technician. I wanted to know if that was modifiable.
So if I go back to here, this example?
That's the one.
Yeah, so this is actually an example of one of our clients' workflow. So this is the working steps that they've specified. Say compared to the same report here at our test client, at our test system, those are the steps in their workflow. So yeah, that would be.
And today, do we have the ability today to run time to market so we could see what process is taking the longest?
You could use the time to market report to answer that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Thank you for your questions.
Yep. You know what? I think that concludes our questions. If you guys would like to move on to the other topics, I know one of the things that I know when we were letting everybody know about this webinar, we said we were going to need about a half hour of your time, and so we're about 5 minutes away from taking up a half hour of your time, but we've got 3 other topics that we wanted to cover really quick, and I'm just going to let you guys dive right into it so I don't waste any. Go ahead. If you guys want to. Josh, do you want to take over, or should Steve take over to cover these last 3 topics?
I can let Steve take over.
All right.
Yes. Hand me the screen.
Yep. It's coming. All right, it should pop up any second now, Steve.
Okay. All right, so over here, I'm going to show you, we can take a look at the recall tool that we've released. So I'm going to go in, this is actually a current system. We'll go into the work items screen. Got a small delay going here. So the recall tool is really there to help you manage everything that's coming in, and we've gone and outsourced through a company called AutoApp, and we found that they really did a great job with accuracy and timing. So when a recall pops up on a vehicle, we're going to automatically bring in this onto your screen so that you can see how many open recalls are there. We take the data right from the source, so you can see the NHTSA number and the OEM number. We give a brief description of the recall, and if you want to get more information, you just click on read more, and we've got a nice summary. So a lot of people are managing through Consequence, especially for other makes. Some of the dealers are absolutely not selling anything with an open recall, and then some are kind of maybe looking the other way for the time being. So, but that information is in here. You can see the risk of injury in that and the other summaries. So, and again, this can be done on all of them. And once the shop does the repair, you can just click on this triangle and mark it repaired. So internally, everybody knows that that recall has been taken care of. Sometimes it can take, you know, up as quick as several days, a week, or even a month for the data to get updated through, you know, the reporting features that we get. So internally, you can take care of it right there. The nice thing about this system is that we run your inventory every day, no matter what step of recon. So most of the dealers are really good at managing recall on their own makes when they come in, but if a recall should pop up later on, maybe on a 20, 30-day unit, you're going to get an indicator that there's a recall open on it. So you can go in and manage that, get some warranty work. And also, I know from the dealers I've set up, when they've got multiple brands, it's a great system, you know, for getting a little warranty work on their in-house brands. They can go to the recall report and see what cars are on the front line of their make, and take care of those recalls in the shop. So if we jump over to the reporting, we go into that, and you're going to get a list of all your recalls and what's open. So once you complete the recall, it'll drop off this list. It'll show when the recalls are done, they'll show a 0 for a little bit, and then they'll just fall off. So this is a nice way to know what your exposure is for recalls. You can sort it by step. So you want to maybe take a look at your front line. You know, that's your most immediate exposure. You can go into your front line. You can click on a car and see, you know, the recall, look at the consequence summary, and manage it that way. So again, you can sort this by stock number. You know, all that is available. So going back to the screen, you can see that we've got the recall indicator right here. So if there's an open recall, that's another way for you to note that there may be a recall on the car. So if I jump, we can sort our inventory by recall, and there they pop up to the top. So that's a great way to find out what cars are in your recall. Okay. So anyway, that's a real easy to use. The integration is seamless. You know, if you're interested in getting some information on that, you can email us. But we usually can turn it on, you know, within a couple days. And there is an additional charge for this because we do outsource it. There's no setup fee or anything like that. And it's not a lot of money. Our average is around 250 bucks. And then we can go into, this is a nice application. Most of you guys may have seen this through a vendor management tool. I'm going to go into a live system and maybe we can take a look at a car here. Let's see. So this is an approval app, and you can see that a lot of dealers now are starting to use this for mechanical. You've got your dollar amounts over here. You can give a description of the repair work, and then this can go out to the approver, and they can go on and mark it approved or refused. If they mark it refused, the dollar amount on that step will go to gray, and the total will get reduced. So we can preload, you know, certain broad diagnose issues, engine repair, and then you can put in more descriptive. We can load as many as you want. I know we had one dealer that copied his most used ADP opcodes, and we just put them in there. But over here, we can put in all your cosmetic. So you got your bumper man, your key man, PDR, you know, your touch up, and then, you know, the used car manager or whoever can just really, even on his mobile phone, walk around the car and just click on these, and when they click on these, they'll just open up automatically into here. And I think most of you might have seen this, but then you can go over to your work item report, and let's say, yeah, so your PDR guy's coming in today. You can click that. Here's all the approved items. You can print this out for them so they know what they need to do. They can mark off complete. You can email this to them, or you can allow access. We have view only, so they can just log in and they can manage it and mark it complete. Okay, so again, on the main screen, you'll see. I'm going to get over to the work item screen. Jump back to the front line. You can see over here your work items and what's been completed. Here you've got 6 pending, 2 that are completed. Another nice thing is if you can see the refused. So if you're using this for mechanical, maybe you want to review what was refused. We can go in here and here's an example, you know, of everything that was approved and then denied the wheel repair. This is just a peeling switch, touch up, and PDR. So nothing major. You don't want to see, you know, 3mm pads get denied. So kind of a quick way to utilize the system if you want to roll it into mechanical. And again, all these movements are real time. So as soon as they're done, you know, when you reload your screen, it's all going to be updated. Okay. And if you guys have questions, we can take a look at them when I finish here. So, and that is, I think maybe one other thing while I've got everybody that's really nice, a new feature is take a look at our photo capability. Let me jump back here and find a car that we can look at. Grab one on the front line. So we've got obviously your photos for you know, your online photos, and now we can take internal photos. So my computer's a little bit slow here for loading, but the mechanics or your Recon manager, whoever, can take pictures of your Recon. So whether it be, you know, some oil leakage, tire repair, you can do this for vendors or internal, you know, taking care of scuffed wheels and things like that. So that's an easy tool. If we can turn that on, there's no, all this stuff is, there's no charge for the photo capability. We can do a quick demo and show you how to use that. We just click it on in your system. So, all right. I think I've covered everything on that list. And then maybe, Brian, if there's any questions, you can bring them up, and then we can answer them.
Yes, again, everybody, if you have questions, go to the questions tab. It's the third from the bottom on the right, the little window that opens on the right side of your screen. Just hit the plus and you can type in questions. Actually, this one, I'm not sure which one this addresses to, but it says, how does your reporting help with accountability?
Well, I can answer that. If we go to the reporting, and let me see if I can pull something up on my screen real quick. There we go. So this screen, I think will do a really good job as far as accountability. You can see we've brought in the color triggers into this report. So if your steps, they're either going to be tied to an individual or a department for accountability. So this is an easy way to see who's performing, who's maybe borderline if they're in the yellow, and in the red they're not performing. So the idea is to be in the clear. So you can, all your steps will get broken down, and you can see really quickly who's performing, who needs some attention, and where you need to put resources and make it a little bit better. So I think that's a really good way, at least from my standpoint or a dealer standpoint, that you can hold accountable. Big picture. You can also, through our current time to markets, look at accountability on our current reporting. But I think this will be a good feature for that. Okay.
This one says, I understand you will have best practice benchmarks.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're working towards. I don't know the release time on that, and I don't know, Josh, maybe you can do that, but we want to have benchmarks for each step, maybe at different levels, the best performing average type of comparisons for the dealers. I'm also working on having that for holding cost, so that you can look at your steps and break it down into a holding cost per car, per step, and then measure that against a benchmark. And then when you put in your holding cost amount and your volume, you can see where and how much you can save. For instance, if the holding cost for detail, you can compare yours to our other groups.
All right. Can the internal pictures be imported from the Provision app? That way the appraiser can take pics of what they see when appraising the car?
No, not right now. That question definitely comes up, and it's probably something we're going to take a hard look at. But right now we just released our own photos. There's a lot of requests from the current dealers to have that capability, so that the technicians can upload photos, or the Recon managers can take their photos. So at this point, no, we don't pull the photos from vAuto.
Okay. Is there any additional charge for the pictures, and how do I get that turned on?
There's no charge. Just shoot us an email or a support request, and we'll click it. And we can either just do a quick phone call to show you how. It's pretty straightforward, or we can just do a quick webinar. So just reach out to on the website through support, and one of us will get right back to you.
Okay. Let's see. Completed recall work on units are automatically updated when completed?
Well, that happens automatically through the manufacturer once you submit the warranty claim. But our process that we saw earlier, and if I can just jump in and grab one. It's just a simple click of a button that will indicate that it's done. So we can grab this car here. So here's the open recall. So once the shop does a repair, all they need to do is click on that and mark it repaired. And that way internally you immediately have that information, for the sales department or management that recall has been taken care of by you. Again, when the manufacturer clears it through the warranty claim, that can be a couple days, a week, sometimes even longer. Okay.
Let's see. One of the features you had said was $250, and somebody had said, is that a month or a year?
The recall is based on a volume, okay, and it is a monthly fee.
Okay. And I believe we already covered this one, but is there an additional charge for the pictures?
No. The only feature that we've shown you today that there's an additional charge for is for the recall, and that's because we outsource it and we run data feeds against that system every day, so that you can have timely, accurate information. So we run every car that's in recall. The other nice thing that we're going to have is that on the iOS app, you're able to scan your trade-ins and get that accurate and timely information. So if you're taking into recalls into your Recon appraisals, you guys can just go out, scan it, and have that recall information and base your appraisal accordingly. So that'll be a nice feature.
All right. Well, it looks like that's the last question that we have. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success. I really appreciate everybody taking this much time out of your day to join us. The guys at Rapid Recon had a lot of great things to show you today. I'd like to thank Dennis, Steve, Josh, and Rick for taking the time. Thanks, guys. If there's any questions that come up later, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of the Rapid Recon people, and we'll be happy to get you answers to any questions that you have. Thank you for coming. Dennis, is there anything else you'd like to share before we let our audience go?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue this. I want to try and have these from time to time as we have new things to talk about with our customers, and separate from our people that would like, that are potential new customers. And so I think we'll continue this format to try and just do a better job of keeping everybody informed. And we're really making a lot of progress here, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate having great customers. I'll tell you, that's what it makes, and we're fortunate to have a really good team at Rapid Recon too. So anyway, thank you everybody for your time, and if you have any issues, but the only thing I really ask of everybody is don't let anything, if you got a problem, something that's bothering you, something that's issued, let us know right away. Our thing is about being responsive and getting things done, and also continuing to make the kind of progress we're making. So that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We look forward to having you on a future webinar. Have a great day.